So you're seeing all these videos out there where people are saying the number one wealth killer is what? A car. And they're also saying videos is the reason why you're poor is because of a car. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. There's other financial habits that people have in their life that is bigger and more important than a car. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the number one wealth killer, and it's not a car, and why you need to handle that ASAP. So when usually people say the number one wealth killer is a car, they say it for a few reasons. Number one is depreciation. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the next thing people talk about is maintenance and also insurance. Now with maintenance, if you have a car that's reliable, it's not going to break the bank. You're just getting an oil change, your tires rotated, simple things to keep your car on the road. And insurance, well, that definitely depends upon the area where you live in. Some areas, I live in Florida, car insurance is really expensive. I'm pretty sure there's other areas where car insurance is not that expensive. So maintenance and insurance is not going to destroy your wealth. Now let's talk about depreciation a little bit. Now that is certainly true. You know, when you get a car, the worst thing is the depreciation, because really it's just a piece of metal and it's depreciating quickly and it's not an asset. Once you think in building wealth, you think about things that make you money. You think about assets, not things that are just going down and depreciating assets. You want appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. So with that, I certainly understand. But let's be very honest. There's ways to negate that. Okay? Let's say, for example, you get yourself into a car that is just draining you. You really love it though, but it's draining you. And you get a 5-year loan. After 5 years, okay, you should own that car and keep that car, especially if you're taking care of it and you're keeping it running correctly. All these newer cars nowadays, guys, they last forever. So after 5 years, yes, you've been through a grind of having a car that you will just paycheck to paycheck because of. But now you're done. Now you go ahead and continue on your wealth building journey. Those 5 years that you were in that car payment is not going to destroy your wealth. It's really not. And also, I don't like that statement as well, because a lot of people, right, do get into cars that they can't afford, and it's a necessity. A lot of people have horrible public transportations in the places they live. And I'm one of them. In Florida, public transportation is horrible. You need a car to get around. So it's really a need in a lot of locations. Normally, what people do is they put that within their budget just to make sure it fits within the budget. So to me, if you get a vehicle responsibly, it's not going to destroy your wealth. And also, shout out to people out there that have a paid off car. Do you feel like your car destroyed your wealth? I think not. Now, let's talk about the true wealth killers. And the first one is lifestyle creep. We see this time and time again. As soon as people's incomes start rising, along with it comes their spending. Now what happens is you're buying all these things because now you got all this money, so everything you were delaying, now you want to buy it now, you want to get the remodeling, you want to get all these things in your life, and guess what? You're living paycheck to paycheck. Lifestyle creep is very difficult to stop. I know it is extremely difficult to stop, but it is critical. If you master the skill of delaying gratification, then you could build wealth, because now the money that you're not using on increasing your lifestyle, you can now put it into investing and to savings. Another wealth killer that's bigger than a car is high credit card interest debt. So many people are having credit card debt, and that is destroying them. For anyone out there that's trying to build wealth, your credit card debt is just destroying it. Let me break it to you this way. If you put money into the market, let's say S&P 500 in an index fund, and on a good year is making a 15% return, you're going to be extremely excited. But at the same time, you have massive amount of credit card debt with a 29% interest rate on it, you're not doing good. You definitely need to get rid of credit card debt, because credit card debt is the number one wealth killer, and it will destroy you from building wealth. You cannot try to build wealth and at the same time you're helping Capital One and Discover and American Express build their wealth by contributing, by paying on interest. Now to me, this is the number one wealth killer, not saving and not investing. If you want to build wealth, you need to invest. It's simple as that. Getting a depreciating asset like a car, that could delay your wealth building. But if you don't save, you don't invest, you're not building wealth at all. Really, I don't know what you're doing if you're not investing and you're not saving. That is critical. You're not going to build wealth. You're never going to be financially free if you never build the skill to invest and to save. And time again, I'm seeing so many surveys out there where they're saying so many people don't even have $500 in their savings account. Mind you, with 1,000. And so many people see retirement as not even a choice. So what are they doing? They're doom spending. They're spending and they're not putting any money into savings, into investing. So as you see, to me, the number one problem is this. It's not the vehicle. It's not the thing that's the problem. It's the person that's the problem. It's the person's actions. Everything starts from the person. It starts from you. The decisions that you make. A car is a symptom. Lifestyle creep is a symptom. Everything in your life, high credit card debt, is a symptom of your action. So the number one wealth killer is you. That's why it's really important that you educate yourself and you make sure all the financial decisions you are doing are the right decisions. Now, I'm not going to say a car does not have a place for being a wealth killer, because it does. There's so many people out there that are buying luxury cars that they can't afford. They got beer money with champagne wishes. People move into the suburbs and see all these nice cars in people's garages. They want to get the same thing. Everyone wants to upgrade their lifestyle once they get into this big event in their life. Once you graduate college, once you get the job, once you get the house, your lifestyle just increases. And the number one symbol to indicate that your lifestyle increase is a car. But you need to do it wisely. You need to budget for your car wisely. If you can negate this whole wealth killing concept of a car, if you don't continually get a car for a few years, it's underwater, you trade it in, and your whole life is revolving around a vehicle, because it's just a vehicle to get you from point A to point B. But as I said, and I'll say it time and time again, a lot of people out there do have a paid off car and they know how to make the car purchases correctly. Okay? They don't just get cars just to get cars. They buy the right cars, and the cars that they can't afford. And let's be quite honest, you do need a car to build wealth because you need to get to work. You need a reliable car, but you don't want to be working for your car. You want to be working to build wealth. So if you get a car and you're going to finance it, make that be your one and only car that you finance. Let's say you get a car for 5 years. After 5 years, you pay it off and you own it. That's yours, okay? For the next 5-6 years after the time you paid off, you are going to take care of that car and you're going to save up money for the next car purchase. That by far is the best thing for you to do. And to get a car that is suitable for your lifestyle. You don't want to get stuff because you're thinking, well, I have family coming in, so I want it. No. You want to get a car that you know gets you from point A to point B. Me, myself, I got 2 kids, 2 teenagers, and I'm married. I have a Nissan Sentra. I had a Nissan Sentra for, I got 3 Nissan Sentras. Well, throughout my life, I had 3 Nissan Sentras. Now I currently have 2, but before that I had 1. Those cars lasted forever. I did not need to get an SUV for my babies. I put 2 car seats in the back and I was able to get around. But you know what? All those cars paid off. I had no payment at all for my vehicles. That's the reason why I'm able to build wealth, because I don't put so much value in a vehicle. I just need to get me from point A to point B. So that's why I strongly feel a car is not the number one wealth killer. The number one wealth killer is the person making the decisions.